Okay, today we're going to talk about the four aspects of management. There's several different names for this. You might have seen it called something else somewhere else, but it's going to be the same four topics, and they are going to be planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And it's the four things that managers do on a continual basis. And it's kind of like a little flow, and you'll go back and forth between them pretty consistently. But it's the four things that a manager has to do in order to perform correctly. So I'm going to talk about the four different things. There's a lot of different ways that we will go into each topic later in the videos, but as for right now, I'm going to talk about the four, and I'm going to give you a couple real-world analogies and scenarios that you might be able to relate to see kind of how the process would go. But each topic will be covered more in depth at some point. There's a lot that we'll talk about as far as leadership, organization, planning. There's many different things that you can get into, and there's tons of great information out there on all four topics. I particularly enjoy leadership and motivation, and I enjoy books on that. So I have a lot of information for those, but even with planning, organizing, there's tons of information out there. We'll go over more of that in the future. But right now, we just need to hit on what are the four aspects of management, what four qualities do you need to work on, and what four skills do managers need. And the first one we're going to talk about is planning. And pretty much what you're looking at with planning is trying to choose goals. Now, as we discussed in some other videos, and we will discuss further, most of the time the company has already gave you whatever your goals are. So your long-term goals and overall goal is probably already going to be chosen for you. So as a manager, you're planning your goals for your team, and you're trying to come up with ways for you to work toward the plan and make sure that you're hitting your overall goal. But there's still going to be a lot of goal setting involved. So I always look at the planning portion as my goal setting portion. So it's me trying to get the goal of the team down, plan what we need to accomplish, what is our plan of attack, how are we going to do that, and getting ready. The organization part is organizing and trying to establish the tasks needed and organize the team to do that. So it integrates with the planning. You can see how it's going to flow into the organization, because once you have your plan, once you know your goals, you're going to start trying to put things into place in order to make sure that you're achieving those goals. So you're going to be trying to get your team in the right positions. You're going to be trying to communicate with them and make sure they understand the goals. You're going to be trying to do what you need to do in order to organize the team and the organization so that you can be successful. So it's going to be the second step from the planning process. After you get everything organized, you need to worry about leading the team. You have your goals, everyone knows their role, and now we have to worry about motivation, making sure that we're still coordinating everyone the way they need to be, and that we keep them energized. So ways that we can contribute, ways that we can be an example for the team, and ways that we can keep everyone focused and on the same page. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go into leadership, and there's a lot of motivational strategies that you can use, but that is going to be the step after you've got things planned, you've got your organizational structure in, then it's about working with your team, communicating, and leading them toward those goals. And then the last part is controlling. And it's going to be monitoring and measuring how you're performing toward those goals. And based on how you monitor or measure, you're going to have to reevaluate, and then you're going to go back into the planning, and you're just going to keep going through a cycle. But the controlling is going to be based, it's not dictating, it is adjusting the situation, learning, and trying to make sure that you are making the necessary changes from whatever the plan was, which is why you would have to replan in order to improve. So as you can see, everything does tie together, it works together, and you have to be able to do all four in order to be a successful manager. Now, because all of these involve your team and usually will involve multiple people, that's why communication is so important. You're going to get feedback when you're trying to monitor and measure. You're going to get feedback when you're leading. You're going to have to utilize communication and in order to make sure that you're planning correctly, you're getting people organized, you're utilizing the correct skill sets, and everyone is working optimally. So, couple examples. I just have some quick notes up here. One, let's say we were processing a truck. If we're processing a truck, then we're going to get our plan ready for the process. So, who all do we need? Who all do we have to have scheduled? What all needs to happen in order for us to achieve the goal of completing that process? And in order to do that, we have to do all the planning. After we've done that and we've planned, then once we're there and ready, we have to get the team organized, let them know the goals, and make sure that everyone knows their role and their job. Once they do that, then we have to make sure that we're participating, actively leading, letting them know what they need to do, that they're motivated, where they're at with their goals, and trying to find ways to continue to motivate them to achieve those goals. Then we're going to monitor where we're at, consistently measuring the progress, and then we're going to utilize that feedback to see if we need to replan, restructure, reassign, or do anything differently. Now, we might be performing optimally, we might not have to change anything, we might just continue to follow the plan. But as you can see, all four of these would tie into that process. Now, we could relate this to fitness. If you have the goal of planning to lose 10 pounds, so that's your plan, you're going to go through ways that you could do that. You're going to look for goals, and then you're going to look for ways that you might go toward achieving that goal. Then you're going to organize how you're going to do that. So it might be lose 2 pounds a week. We're going to talk about how we would do that and get into what you would need to do each day, what time you're going to do it, and organizing a plan. Once you get that plan in place, you're going to have to find ways to motivate yourself to do it. You're going to have to find ways to keep yourself energized, keep yourself coming back, keep yourself following the plan. Once you've done all of that, at the end, you're going to assess your progress, and then you're going to readjust based on needs. That's what you're going to do continuously. So that's another analogy that I think applies to this, is you just have to look at it like, I'm planning something, I'm getting a plan together, I'm organizing the plan, and then I'm making sure that everyone stays motivated, stays focused, continues to work toward the plan. Then I am looking, reassessing the situation, and planning accordingly. If you continually do that as a manager, you continually communicate and get that feedback, and you have the pulse of the store, then you'll know where you're standing and how you're doing toward achieving your goals. So please utilize these four things. Think about the aspects of being a manager, and hopefully it will help you try to be better at what you're doing.